Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the laborious, the gregarious, the totally notorious CaptGord. You can't suck it. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. You can't suck it. Word to your mother. So I am broadcasting to you once again from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck that I found over on, what's this, untapped.gg. It is referred to as ESPER Legends. Every once in a while I come over here and take a look to see what they have on their tier list. I recommend taking a look at it if you have an opportunity. And this one was top of the list. And it's kind of weird because usually whatever is in the top of the tier list there, you're going to see it over and over and over. You're going to be playing against it constantly. And maybe I'd seen this a couple times before. It just didn't seem super familiar. I mean, I'm very familiar with a lot of the cards. They've been around and they're all really good. But I really haven't seen them in this configuration. So I'm not exactly sure how I've been missing out, what dark corners of MTGA I've been hanging out on. But yeah, I really haven't seen it this much. Either that or else it just kicks my butt so early in gameplay that I never get a chance to see all the cards come out together. So let's take a look at the deck. Let's see what cards are in it. Try to figure out how it sort of works. And then we will take it out and see how it does. At the low end, we've got Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. And so it's a legendary. And you can see a lot of these cards. These are all legendary. I think maybe every single card is legendary. Thalia comes out for 2. She's a 2/1 with first strike, meaning that she can kill anything that's got a toughness of 2 or less, and it doesn't do anything to her to get into fight. So she's a great one to have out early. The other thing is that non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast, meaning that as long as they trying to use up all of their mana in one shot and they don't have one left over and it's a non-creature spell, they ain't casting it. This really is the kind of thing that holds people back. It's part of the white tax deck. Thalia is actually really a great card. I was going to say that about every card in here, really. Jadar, the Ghoulcaller Nephalia. It costs you 2 and is a 1/1. And at the end of your beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, you put out a 2/2 black zombie creature with Decayed. Here you go. Here's a big old Decayed zombie. The thing is, look at that guy. He's touching a zombie with his bare hands right on top of its dead head. That is so gross. All right, so we got legendary, right? So we got a guy that puts out extra zombie tokens every turn. Dennick, the Pious Apprentice, is a legendary 2/3 for 2 with lifelink, so that's a pretty decent situation. He's got a big old 3 butt for blocking as well as lifelink for keeping you in the game, right? Plus, cards in your graveyards cannot be the target of spells or abilities. And he's got Disturb, but he'd be in the graveyard, which means he wouldn't be able to protect himself from that. With Disturb, though, you can cast it for 4, at which point you got a flying 3/2. And whenever one or more creature cards are put into graveyards from anywhere, you investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn, so therefore you get a investigation token. If when this thing gets killed, then you exile it. So this gets into where you have to pay for a little bit of card draw, but it's not bad. Alas, the Ilkor, Sadistic Pilgrim. Really, that Ilkor just kind of looks like a elf albino there, albino elf. We got 2 mana for 2/2 with Death Touch. A Death Touch is something scary to people. You can say it's just with the left hand though. The right hand's okay. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. When another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. I remember that used to be so great with Mire Massacre, but alas, pun not intended, we do not have our pal any longer. The good thing is, though, alas works great with the Decayed zombies. That's a great combo right there. Every time that zombie comes into play, that's 1 life for you. Every time it dies during or after an attack, that's 1 life against them. We got Adeline, the Resplendent Cathar, who's got Vigilance and is a X4 for 3. Adeline's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. And that zombie is counted towards it. Whenever you attack for each opponent, create 1/1 human token that's tapped and attacking. My God, I had no idea that it said for each opponent. I've only ever played this in standard against a single opponent. But if you were playing some multiplayer, it would just go nuts. But anyway, so you create an additional 1/1 white token, which is going to pump her up, and is going to make a last go +1 to your life. And so that's all good. We got Geralf. I always say giraffe first. Geralf, the Visionary Stitcher. Usually you see this with zombie decks, but we don't, the only zombies we have are the ones that are created by Jadar at this point. Zombies you control have flying, so nice. They got flying. It seems weird that your zombies would have flying, but yeah, that's cool. We can do that. And he's a 1/4 for 3, so he's not that expensive, and the effect on zombies are fantastic. Because I'm not really expecting at this point to have more than one zombie at a time, ever. Let's see what else. Sacrifice, another non-token creature. You can create an XX blue zombie. Oh, we got another zombie. Where X is the sacrifice creature's toughness. Now, the good thing about this zombie, he does not have decayed. Excuse me. So, this one gets to stick around after it attacks. So we're looking for big things that we can kill, or little things we kill. It's all good as long as they can stay on the board and have flying, right? Rafine, the Scheming Seer, costs you 3. Really, so far, this is all really cheap, right? We got a 1/4 legendary creature, Sphinx Demon, so not a zombie. Flying and ward 1. Whenever you attack target, attacking creature connives X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So if you're attacking with 3 creatures, then one of your guys gets to connive 3 times, which if you throw away 3 things that are not lands, it'll get +3/+3 permanently. They get counters for that. Here is Toulouse, the Clever Conductor. Costs you 3. You get a 3/1. And when it enters the battlefield, it connives. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, like when you are conniving, exile them from your graveyard. When Toulouse dies, put those cards exiled into their owner's hands. The only bad thing is she gets exiled, then all that stuff is just gone forever, and you never get to play it out of the graveyard. So basically, yeah, Toulouse here just is a connive fiend, and you'll draw all the cards you end up conniving right back to yourself when she is dead. And so she'd be a good person to bank a lot of stuff on, and then put out another Toulouse, which will just give you all those cards back by just having the legendary effect come into play and making yourself kill your own Toulouse. Sheoldred the Apocalypse. This is one of my favorite cards. I'd put it in every black deck I could. It's 4/5 for 4 with Death Touch. So she's got a big old butt. You can see it extending for like a mile there. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. I love putting Sheoldred and Alas together, because you got all these events that are going off where you're gaining life and your opponent is losing life. And even if it's just whatever, drawing cards, playing creatures are dying, your opponent's drawing cards, all those things are constantly happening, and you're just sipping off the top while your opponent is being poisoned by those things. We got Rada Drabik of Urborg for 4 is a 3/3, but he's got Vigilance and Ward 2. And the zombie winner says, all zombies you control have Vigilance. So if you got Geralf out, then this guy has Vigilance and Ward, or Vigilance and Flying, I should say. Plus, then each guy that Jadar puts out has got Vigilance and Flying, except for the fact that those ones that are decayed will just die, so therefore Vigilance doesn't really matter in that case. Anyways, whenever a legendary creature you control dies, and you have a lot of legendary creatures, in fact, every single card you have so far is a legendary creature, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary, and it's a 2/2 black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Which means that you can now have that zombie guy out as well as the legendary card that you put out otherwise. So therefore, if you have a Sheoldred out and a Rada Drabik, you could play a second Sheoldred, which would then kill one of the Sheoldreds. Except for Rada Drabik would say, no, my friend, you are now a zombie. but you are also yourself, other than the fact that you're not going to be a 4 or 5 Sheoldred, you'll be a 2/2 Sheoldred. But that means that on every turn, whenever an opponent draws a card, they'll lose 4 life rather than 2. So Radadrabric is the guy that will keep all of your legendaries in play, and zombies, who will then have the ability to fly and be vigilant. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. All right, Urtai, resurrected, and I love Urtai. The funny part is he looks all totally like buff here, but Urtai was originally a skinny little dude that was constantly hunched over. So yeah, his art has changed a lot since the early days. Anyways, he's a 3/2 with 4, and he's got Flash, which means you can play him as an instant. When he enters the battlefield, you choose to do one of the following. You can counter a target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. And its controller draws a card. So, man, that other stuff, activated ability or triggered ability, is fantastic. You know, I mean, it's just even realizing that something you can do is fantastic. Or you could destroy another target creature or planeswalker, and its controller draws a card. So whatever, man. So this guy is just so much control wrapped up into himself right there. Plus, if you had Radadrabric out, whenever he dies, then essentially he just comes back into play, and you get one of those 2 effects again. In fact, you could, if you had Radadrabric out, you could play him to counter a spell, and then if you had enough, you could play a second one of him, which would then destroy the first one, and then you would counter a spell with the first one, at which point then another one would be created as a zombie token, and then you'd be able to destroy or counter a third spell essentially. Or you could just kill a creature, kill a second creature, and then kill a third creature, and at the end you'd have 2 Urtais. But you still need 8 mana to cast it. Now, lastly, we've got Ao the Dawn Sky, who is a 5/4 dragon for 5 with vigilance and flying. And when it dies, you look at the top 7 cards of your library, put a number of non-land permanent cards with a total mana value of 4 or less from amongst them into the battlefield. And that could be any 2 of these, you could throw out there. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. And interesting about it, if you had Radadrabric out there, then by putting these guys out, if they were already out, that would kill those guys, which would then cause duplicates of them to be made, which would be a great situation. Or otherwise, you could put 2 +1/+1 counters on each permanent you control that's a creature or a vehicle. We do not have any vehicles in this. All right, so land-wise. What are we talking about land-wise here? We're talking 27 land. Ooh, that's rough. We've got Kamigawa White, which does 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Kamigawa Blue, which does bouncing. Kamigawa Black, that mills guys from the mills stuff and brings guys from the graveyard back to your hand. There's some reanimation right there. We've got, what else we got in here? We got the semi-fast dual lands. We got some tri-lands. We've got the pain lands. We got regular type of lands. And lastly, the most interesting thing is Plaza of Heroes, 4 of them, which is colorless, but it's 1 mana of any color as long as you're using it to pay for a legendary spell. Believe it or not, everything in this deck is legendary, so this is pretty much any color. Also, see, add 1 mana of any color amongst legendary permanents you control, but it doesn't matter because everything is already legendary. And lastly, if you just happen to have 3 extra mana and this thing was untapped, you can exile this particular land to give target legendary creature hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. So, this deck appears to be nothing but giant explosive power, like a nuclear bomb. And the fact that things are legendary isn't a hindrance as much as it is an advantage, because you kind of want your guys to die. Specifically, you want to get Radadrabric out, though. So let's hope we can find them and put them out, because other than that, they're just sacrificed to themselves for very little good reason. They're still incredibly powerful, though. All right, let's take it out and see how well this does. I'm playing against Docerias, meaning the second one. 1/2 mana and a bunch of expensive stuff. Mulligan. 1, 2, 3. We'll keep this one. We're gonna get rid of. We don't need double Thalias at the moment, so done. All right, blue and white. It's a good way to start. That way I have 3 potential colors on turn 2. Let's go ahead and take out Thalia at this point. Everything's expensive. Non-creature spells. Alright, 3rd mana, 2-drop, and Thalia goes in for 1. First strike, she's going to do very well. Alright, here's someplace for the murdering Urtai to be dealing with then. Let's give it up. Pumpkin head there. I'll attack. This elf there reminds me of one of those cultists from the Rings of Power show. Free flyer. I got Vigilance Award. Oh, already played one. Okay, cancel then. We're cool. All right, listen to what we got. Because our friend Urtai would be really nice to come back as a zombie. Sanctuary Warden. She needs to be bounced. Don't like Death Touch, huh? I don't know why you would even care. Alright, well, let's play this game. Let's return you back to your hand. We got a 5/5 there. Let's see, whenever you discard one or more cards, exile from your graveyard. And lifelink, huh? Alright, he's down to 5. Means you can block one of my guys, which should be something that costs 3. We do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can technically block 2 guys. And still have well more than 5. No blocks. You can wipe the board. What you doing, Docerias? Docerias? Yeah. You got a guy. You can bid out a second guy. There you go. You got 2 blockers now. Congratulations. And we win! Victory! Alright, we're playing against Final Boss. One, two, three. And a bunch of good guys. Let's keep it. I'm going to start off with the legendaries, so that way we have more options between what we get on our second turn. Which was no options, just Thalia. Alright, we need a... Yeah, we don't need a blue, but we could. There's another Thalia. Okay, great. So let's blue it up without a nice Rapine. Let's go into the attack. Alright, so let's go for black this time. At which point now I shall... I don't even know what this thing does, really. Let's find out. One more creature cards. Alright, great. All attack. Connive. Let's take out the Rapine. Investigate. Okay, we get a treasure token. Or, yeah, investigate token. Your tie is such a good bomb. I love this guy. He's willing to pay for it. Pow! Dang. Alright, we'll do that. Next. Can I play another card? No. Alright, there's somebody who needs to be killed. I'm going to go searching here in a second. Alright, if I attack now, I'll be able to get a creature out with Adeline. 1, 2, 3. I don't quite have enough for everything I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and just attack with what I got. Let's get rid of 1. Discard 3 cards then, huh? 2, Oh, first strike. It's fine. He was always going to die anyway. It looks a lot like this. That was disappointing. We always bounce her back. Gotta wait till our next turn to do it, though. No blocks. Oh, I got the big guy. I forgot about the little dude on the side. Okay, do I have enough? This should cost 4. 1, 2, 3. See, there's just not enough to do everything I want to do here. All right, so I've got 7 mana if I come in straight. He has the ability to block flyers. I think I got to do this. I think I got to do it. Okay, we're going in for all attacks. Target attacking creature. I don't know, this one here. I think we can just pump these guys up, right? We got discard 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I need you to kill Irtai. Next to blockers. You've only got the ability to block one more guy. I mean, you can let it go through. Good for you. All right, we're going to put out a Jadar. Okay, now remind me, we need to do math. Here we got 13. He's coming at me with an 8. There's math. We got the ability to block with 2 guys. The guy's got haste now. I guess we just got to take out the 2 guys that have the biggest amount of damage going on here. Not particularly worried about trample, or because there's no trample going on. All right, so that means let it go. Come on. Big guy and big guy. All right, you ready to give it up? There he goes! Winner, winner, victory dinner! We're playing against Big fugk. 1, 2, 3, let's keep it. I see Thalia on our next turn. Oh, that's slow. Okay, I would have had to be Adarkar Wastes and take a life without Thalia. Thalia is going to be great against her playing against that stupid enchantment deck again. Got human throngs. We're gathering throngs of human citizens. Hello, human citizens. All right, Adeline. All attack. Both of those dudes would totally kill the gathering throng. Individual guy put out another Plaza of Heroes. We get us 4. I think this is probably the better play. Let's go all in. And we'll give that to Adeline. We're going to discard 4 cards now. 1, 2, 3, and that one. There we go, got it up to 8. And we win! Victory! I'm playing against CaptGord. CaptGord. 1, 2, 3, let's keep it. I think we got a draft, we didn't play him before. Geralf. I have to pronounce that L in there. Got a Java Ghost. Alright, the slowest one we got is this one right here. You get a Pilgrim out on the next turn. Three is going to get us a Geralf. And we're playing against the Defender deck. Alright, there's Geralf. Send this in, the Blight Pile will be dead. Looks like he's got big plans for Blight Pile. We got 2 of them now. Alright, let's go ahead and shoulder this place up. He's not going to like it when shouldered starts attacking. He's just really holding on to what his defenders can do. Tap target creature. Yeah, he's really focused on that. He's got the mana to go for it. Oh yeah. Alright, here's a Rataback. Alright, I think he'll take out the Sholdred there. Here's a bunch of birds. 6 of them. I don't have any mana available to me. We got more birds we got to plow our way through. This thing's not legendary. It said you could easily play. Oh, he doesn't have the mana for it. That's what the deal is. All right, we'll play this. All right, let's just send in everything we got here. I'll attack. Keep back that guy. 4 attackers. He's going to get another 6. Oh, he's going to get a ton more guys. I'm planning on sacrificing Sholdred. Except I can't if I want to take out those walls. I'll take out the walls, it's fine. Bounce something. Alright, he's down to 5. We're going to use this. We're going to pop him. Bring him back. Put out a Thalia. Alright. He's not legendary though. Could have had 2 out. There's 9 of them. I think this will do it. Can't do it. Alright. I'll attack. Not you. Really, it's the shoulder I should have kept back, though. He doesn't seem to know it yet. Alright, so 2 points for drawing a card. Yep, that's not going to do it, is it? The shoulder is really what's killed you this turn, or this game. And there we go. There we go. I thought I made a vicious mistake being all cocky, but whatever. Victory! Alright, so here we are with ESPER Legends. And it feels good because it is almost like a tribal deck because we're playing with, I guess, legends as the tribe. It's kind of weird seeing so much gold in a deck. I usually don't float that way. So, who was the hero of this deck? Well, first of all, I love Eartie, but he was not the hero. I think it was really Radadrabik of Urborg. because of the fact that every time one of your guys dies, they just come back again as a 2/2 zombie version of themselves, which means whatever their enter the battlefield effect or anything else is just as awesome, right? And that's what was really great. And what's also cool is it says it also come back as it's non-legendary, so you can play another version of the legendary card again. So Radadrabic is the beating heart of this deck. Let's see, who else was awesome? The big things that were great about this deck was Rafine, giving all of, basically giving your attacking creatures connive. We got Geralf, who were able to sacrifice one of your guys, which if you have Radadrabic out, would just get that guy back again anyway. But you get to have another zombie creature who's now flying and is equal to that sacrifice creature's toughness, which could be pretty decent depending upon which guy you end up nuking, right? Sholdred was really good, and he was a good target of the nukingness, so you get a 5/5 zombie flying guy out of the deal. And I still have no idea what Dendrick's all about there. Sure, it protects your graveyards. Yeah, he's got lifelink, and he creates clue counters, I guess. It's a thing. I mean, if you're really looking to draw some cards, yeah, okay. Anyways, very solid deck. Let's go ahead and give it a rating. Number 1, was it competitive? Well, okay, so I did pick it off as the number 1 deck on the tier list from Untapped GG. So yeah, I'd say it's competitive. In my own play, I'd say, yeah, this deck won handily every single time, except for one time. One time, it did not do well. But what can you expect? Every deck's got its downfall. It's Achilles' heel. So yes, definitely it's a competitive deck. Number 2, is this deck fun? Yes, it is fun. It is fun because of the way that you put out their guys. You guys have great abilities, and that you get another shot with them generally. The only thing we don't have like a lot of graveyard reanimation. I don't think we got that going on. This guy doesn't get to do it. So once they go to the graveyard, they're pretty much gone. That's the only thing that's not cool. It'd be cool if you could pull them back out. But other than that, this deck is pretty top-notch as far as the abilities and being able to use them consistently. Lastly, is this deck interesting? And I'd say 100% this deck is interesting. It is completely interesting. So if I had to rate... Okay, just get back to interesting. We already talked about it a little bit. It's because there's a lot of functionality, and you get to really worry about, like, if I kill this of my own guy, when should I do it? When will I get back that guy? What will be the effect of having him come back? How will it affect this guy coming out? If I play another legend, will my own dude actually kill my own guy? But then will Radadrabic being the other guy back? It's just, it is interesting. Some people might think interesting is brain killing. Others might think of it as being a good exercise for one's brain. So yeah, I'd say this is kind of a big brain deck that has a lot of functions to it. So it is very competitive. It's very interesting and mostly fun. So I've got to give it an A+ to be an A+ deck. It is obvious as why this is the top of the tier over at Untapped. And I would agree that it is definitely number 1 fantastic deck in the meta at this moment. So if you should choose to play with this deck, I hope that you had as good a time as I did. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.